good afternoon wherever you're at.
As you can see, we are at the park again, and it is a beautiful day.
Oh, it's gorgeous.
And I want to introduce a friend of ours. This is Julia, and we have invited her to be with us just for a little spice it up, kicker, you know how that goes. We are all soul sisters.
Yes.
And what I kind of mean by that is just we connect, you know, we just, we appreciate each other, we love each other, we're there for each other.
I'm sorry.
What?
I'm watching.
Well, I'm watching the crowd too. That's neat.
Yeah.
I love them.
You want to just, Now this is Julia's first time ever taping, so we think this is totally exciting that she's here with us, and she has chose to make her debut on the Dragonfly.
Oh yeah.
So anyway, let's kind of hop into it, see what's going on. Are you all excited about this new supermoon that's going to be coming in Aquarius starting tomorrow? I believe it is the 19th. We've got that. Of course, we're still in the retrograde, which should be going on for a while. So, and if you notice this week, your emotions are running a little high, a little all over the place. We've kind of been talking about this on our last couple videos. Be prepared. It's still going to kind of keep going on. So stay grounded. Oh, I'm going to take my shoes off and put my feet in the grass.
Because we have our feet in the grass. We're feeling it really. I mean, just grounding ourselves and getting, Earth's energy because we're going to need some.
And
definitely
this week for sure, take some time for yourself. With the super moon, it's really one of those that's really going to ask you to take a deep look at yourself, take a deep look at your life, take a deep look at what you want, who you truly are, what your truth is. We talk about staying in your truth all the time, and this moon in Aquarius especially is that moon. It's like you really need to figure out who the hell you are and what you want. So work on yourself as much as you can this week.
Yeah. So what's been happening? What's been happening, ladies?
Well, we had actually called Julia the other night and said, hey, would you like to,
we need to talk.
Be on our show? And she kind of told us some of the, let's just give a little background here. Julia's life has been, I would say, chaotic, roller coaster-ish, kind of all over the place for the last few years.
Girl.
And
we've mentioned her in our videos.
Yes, we have. She's the chandelier lady.
Yeah.
The only comment we ever got was on
her
Julia's
chandelier.
Dad talking through the chandelier. But anyway, so we wanted to kind of have her on here just to give you all some support if you are going through this same type of thing that Julia's going through, and we know there's an ending to it. We do.
I hope there's an end in sight.
Yeah.
Julia,
so your dad passed away.
The last few months.
Yeah.
She's lost a very, very, very dear friend and her father.
In 2 months.
In 2 months.
So the last couple, especially the last couple months, have just been really, really difficult for her, and we know that some of you too are going through some of that same process, and it's okay to grieve. It's okay. It comes. I'm sure.
I think
it
you have to
comes in
grieve.
waves. Especially when you lose two really, really
close
people to your heart within just a few months of each other.
It's it does come in waves,
Right.
but it's not. I don't even know. It's not just grief. It's so much more to losing a loved one. I don't know. My aha moments with my dad's death and with my best friend's death has just been, I'm realizing what's important. I'm realizing the beautiful things that they gave in life. And I'm trying to focus on those things right now.
Right.
Can we just say that Julie's probably one of the strongest people we know? I mean,
Yeah.
I can't imagine going through what she's been through over the last couple of years and these last two deaths.
Because even
And
prior to that, right?
Staying strong.
Yeah, prior to that, Jules, your mother was going through a lot. You
3 years at Mayo Clinic.
Right.
We've been dealing with her health issues, and then my dad's health issues came on very quickly in the midst of the Mayo Clinic stuff.
Exactly.
So yeah, I've just been getting hit from all sides to the point where I'm like, universe,
slow it down for me. Right.
Slow your roll, pump the brakes.
Yeah. So
How
what are
much
some
more
of the?
can you take?
Yeah.
I keep thinking that, but I keep going.
You do.
Yeah, you do.
You're
You
very
really
resilient.
do. You know. And what do you think are some of the things that have helped you?
People,
Yeah.
friends.
Yeah.
When I lost Nick, he left a 20-year-old daughter, an only child. And I tell you what, that was the strongest person I've ever seen in my entire life.
Yeah.
She knew what her dad wanted. She honored his wishes. She was amazing. And in losing my dad, my source of strength was looking back at how Frankie handled the situations.
Yeah.
And she was amazing. I mean, she was... I've never seen anybody stronger.
Right. For such a young person.
For a young
too.
person to be so wise. And so on my bad days, I think about her.
Yeah.
You know, I reach out to my friends. I listen to sound bowls. I meditate.
Yeah.
Also for me, being in his house. I moved over to his house to help take care of him when he was released from the hospital. And I've stayed because it just makes me feel better being around his things. Sounds kind of silly, but I think I'm nesting in his presence.
Yeah.
And then, of course, we've got the chandelier.
Yes.
The chandelier.
We actually, when we were there hanging out with her, shortly after her father passed, we saw it firsthand.
Yeah, we did.
We were like,
It was
wow.
crazy. It was really crazy.
I thought I was losing my mind for a minute because I literally, the first time it happened, I was in my jammies. I flipped on the chandelier and it blinked at me. And I said, "Hey, Dad," and it lit up. Like bright and stayed on, and then it went down. And I'm like, "Dad," and it would flicker at me. And so I kept having these conversations, and I thought, if anybody saw me standing here talking to a chandelier, they must know that I have gone off the deep end. But then it started happening with my kids and my mom, who is definitely somebody that would not believe that. She came in, and I told her, you know, what had been happening. And when my dad was in the hospital, he couldn't speak. And my mom would squeeze his hand. "I love you." So I said, "Mom, you've got to see this." And I turned the chandelier on, and I said, "Hi, Dad," and it lit up. And I said, "Mom's here," and it blinked. And my mom said, "It's kind of spooky." And I said, "Say something to him." And she said, "I," and the chandelier blinked. She said, "Love," and it blinked. And she said, "You," and it blinked.
Amazing.
Yep.
Amazing.
So you guys have all witnessed it. My mom's witnessed it.
We were sitting there when you were touching the knob, and it was blinking for you, for us, to let you know, to validate what was happening around you. That's amazing. But you said it hasn't since?
No, it has started back up. And
then,
a girlfriend of mine gave me a necklace that you can put cremains in. And so I've got the cremains, and they're in my car. And they've started, and it sounds really funny. It's not when I'm driving, it's when I'm sitting still. The cremains are moving in a circular motion.
Really?
Wow.
Did I not tell you guys?
No, you haven't told us that.
Yeah.
That's cool.
So Finley witnessed it last night. That's my daughter.
Neat.
But we were just sitting there, and we were talking about Grandpa, and
he was spinning.
Yeah, he was spinning.
He's dancing for you.
Maybe.
He's celebrating.
Yeah.
Aw, neat.
Yep. So
I love that.
My girlfriend Michelle said, and maybe you guys can answer, you know, when you work with crystals and the pendulum, sometimes it'll circle a way to say yes or no. And she said, really think about your thoughts and your intents, and maybe he's telling you yes or no, that these are right.
Hey, yeah.
That's
that could be a very good possibility.
I don't know, Diane.
Circles, I believe, are yeses, and the lines are no's.
Yeah, if you guys know as well, if you guys have experiences with that, we'd love to know, because this is great information.
This is new territory, all of it.
Yeah.
For me.
Yeah. Well, good. I'm glad that things are like that. I think that's uplifting too. I think he's way of inspiring you to really keep on soul searching, to keep your spirituality up, because I know that in our last conversation, you're like, gosh, I feel like I'm kind of out of the loop with everything going on, and you want to get back to bowls, going to bowls, and sitting with your tribe.
Yeah.
And that's real important, I think.
I think energy makes a difference. And, I've found my tribe, and I love their energy, and I love these sweet women, and just being around you guys.
We love you. That's for sure.
It's everything.
You've been the subject of many of our videos, so we thought that it would be appropriate to bring Jules, and because I call you Jules. I know, Diane, you call me Sandy. I call you Di. Yeah. We kind of all have like little nicknames for each other, but I've called you Jules for years. And
forever.
Yeah. I call her Sam on occasion.
Yeah,
too.
You do call me Sam.
I've done that since high school.
I
don't know why I call her Sam, but it is what it is.
Sam?
Sam.
Derivative of San.
I like it.
All right.
But that's okay.
In the speaking of loss, I don't know if anyone has noticed, like, I'm not a huge TV watcher. I just don't. I try to stay away from the news and anything like super negative because, just it makes my heart hurt.
Yeah.
But have you guys noticed lately there's just been so much tragedy?
Yes.
Just we lost a schoolmate and his wife about a week ago.
Yes. Yeah.
And
motorcycle accident.
Just if you're a Facebooker and you just happen to scroll through, there's this article about a couple young boys that were just in their early 20s that lost their lives the other night, and it just seems like there's just so much out there that's kind of trying to pull you away, to get you to start going down that negative path. And we just want you to know, stay positive. Try to find the beauty in things. I mean, there's obviously no beauty to me in a tragedy, but there's obviously something else that you could look at that might be
lessons,
beautiful.
Maybe. In fact, Diane, you mentioned that, and I had a good friend at work lost like 3 people in the first half of the year, and one just recently. But then I was telling them about the high school friend that had passed away, and they're like, "You're kidding me. We've had people pass away like all of a sudden as well." So it is a scary time, and you're right. You don't want anything to pull you away from where you're trying to center yourself from, because you pull yourself away and you start going down the wrong path. It can get you in a big rabbit hole of grief, depression, anxiety, and we're trying to prevent that. We're trying to prevent that by our channel, by sitting out here, grounding ourselves, our feet in the grass, and being around beautiful people.
Which, I mean, if you're go back a little bit, Julia was just saying that she pulls the beauty and inspiration, and apparently the locusts and birds agree with us, from this other young girl that also had the loss of her father at such a young age. So somewhere, somehow, you can find some beauty in it. And if your memories are the good ones, the happy ones, and not centering on just the negative, but we're going to go there, especially when there's grief involved. So
it's tough when there's grief involved, because by no means was my childhood perfect. And my dad spent a lot of time away, and I could have held on to that and been really upset about it. And at the visitation, my dad helped people for a living. And so person after person came to me and just cried and said, "Thank you. Your dad did so much for my family and for me." And so I was able to not think about maybe my dad not being there at our house or in my life as much. He was out helping people. And my dad, I think he had a greater purpose. And I didn't realize that until death. If that makes
That is
really great way
beautiful.
to
That
think
is
of that.
really a good way. That's
Yeah. Good way.
great,
I don't
Jules.
know if that,
Yeah, it
Yeah.
totally makes sense. Yeah.
but
But you know what though? You are such an extraordinary mother. I have to say, you know, you're raising your girls by yourself.
Thank you.
And you do such wonderful things for them and show them love all the time by just everything that you do for them, what you teach them, and also what you give back. You give back to a lot of your friends and family as
Thank
well.
you.
So, yeah, I commend you for that.
I think
Yeah, and I think a lot of times when you're like, okay, instead of like going down into your rabbit hole and deep and your sadness, you try to like, okay, I'm going to turn things around by doing something for someone else. I think that's important too, is making sure that we do for others, you know.
And she is probably one of the only people on Facebook I know that is going to every single event put in front of her. So, I mean, she just keeps on going, like, you know.
I say I'm going. It doesn't mean I always go.
Yeah. I'm like,
You have good
Julia's
intentions.
going.
I have
You
intentions.
have good intentions,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah,
Yeah, we like that.
we do.
But we'll keep up with the area's festivities via
Through me.
you, yeah, okay?
Everybody
Because-
says that.
yeah, I'm like, okay, well, Jules, where are you going?
Yeah.
So,
I've just tried to say, not say no to things. I know it's silly. I think that there was a book out where a girl dated for a year, and she never said no to anybody that asked her on a date,
oh, really?
just to experience it.
Wow.
And she like learned a lot of things along the way, and that's kind of how I'm viewing life right now, is why not go? Why
Yeah.
not just see what it's about?
Yeah.
Like the drum circle in Peoria Heights.
Yeah.
I mean, I thought I would not feel comfortable there, and it's lovely.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's just, yeah, you just don't know until you go try things. So,
Good for you. Yeah.
And we're all going to take a road trip, which we'll probably tape that too on our little road trip. It's not too, I mean, you know, road trip to us is like 45 minutes away. And
Nothing
that day
extreme.
should be filled with bowls and crystals and
Oh, yeah.
all kinds of spiritual things. And I think it'll be a fun day. I really do. So we'll take you guys along on that and kind of show you, if you've never been to an event like that, that maybe perhaps you might want to try it.
Yeah.
Well, I'm looking forward to it for sure.
yeah.
So what do we got coming up this week, girls?
Goodness.
We're gonna try to stay grounded, right? We're gonna try to get through this super moon. I would love to hear what goes on this. I'm excited about the super moon because you know, since January I kind of said, you know, that I wanted to stay in my truth this year, and you know, it started out kind of slow, but it's kind of picking up, and it does really make a difference if you stay in your truth. And when I say that, just be true to yourself and be who you are, and that's what this moon's all about. Just kind of go deep. Figure out who you are, what you want, you know.
Yeah, well, and I think there's no age limit for that. I think we can
No.
keep on figuring it out.
You can be 9 or 90.
Yeah,
you know, just
every life lesson has that for the opportunity to open new doors. You know.
I was going to say, I think that it evolves. I don't think like your truth in your 20s is your truth in your 50s.
No.
And even my truth now has evolved through like these deaths. You know, I'm realizing what's important, who's important, you know.
maybe what's important about them. I mean, I think you learned a lot of lessons about your dad
Oh my!
through his death,
Yes.
which was amazing.
Yeah.
I mean,
And what an
I
incredible,
didn't-
even more incredible of a man he
Yeah.
was. You know, and that reminds me of my dad. He was not the lovey, huggy, kissy, I love you kind of person. But after his death, so many people came up to me and said how much he did for everyone else, and how much, you know, when they couldn't afford something, my dad was right there to help them pay for it, or you know, do something for them. And you know, it makes you feel so warm inside
Proud.
and proud of them.
Yeah.
My goodness. So it's
Yeah, I definitely felt, me too. I
Yeah.
felt proud
yes.
of my dad, you know, never realizing before.
Oh,
So,
yeah.
it's a cool thing.
Yeah, that's a very cool thing. Diane, I wanted to make sure we brought up that, you staying in the truth. You mentioned that. And we talked about dreams in our last video. We also talked about something that you experienced in the last video. And I wanted to make sure we had time to share that today and what you did about it.
I just wanted to say, I think I came off in the last video that I had this spirit that was just so cool, like, coming in my dreams and in my room, and I could feel him getting in and out of the bed. Well, then I had it brought to my attention, not by one but two people, that perhaps this is what they call an imposter, because they said someone who is a good spirit and loves you would never let you touch them and feel something, like feel like their arm, like I had said in the video, and it was always in my bedroom, and it was coming to both myself and my husband. And so they said, you really might want to sage and ask for some protection from Archangel Michael. Well, so I decided to call in Archangel Michael, Raphael, and Gabriel. I wasn't taking
all the troops.
And Renee, who we'll have on our show at some time too, she's had her own experience with this, and she said use Palo Santos instead of sage, because it tends to be a little bit lighter and not quite as strong as sage, which could stir things up. And then ask Archangel Michael, and in my case Gabriel and Raphael as well, to take whatever is not good. If this is not a good thing to be, take it as far away to the east and to the west, away from everyone, so that it doesn't just leave my home and go to someone else's and harm them either. Now, I did not feel any type of fear from this spirit, but according to these two people, it could start out that way, to where they try to, it's called an imposter. And if you guys know anything about this stuff, please comment below, because I'm really interested if that's the way that type of spirit. I'm so open that I think that I'm a pretty big conductor.
I think so.
But
too.
In the ridding them out of my home, I just can't, I wasn't fearful of it at all. I'm like, I am too strong for you. You have like so picked the wrong person. I mean, I'm like, if you go up against me, I'm gonna win every time. I am not the person for you. My family is not the family for you, because they got me standing behind them, my friends and everyone. So, I don't want you to just leave my house. I want you to go, knowing that if I find out where you are, I will come and hunt you down like the dog you are. So,
on top of that, you really have God on your side.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, he's just, the ultimate. He will protect you.
Yes.
And that's why he has his archangels around you, surrounding you.
All
and like
the
we
time.
talked before, Archangel Michael, he's a badass. He's not gonna, he's a badass. So, as well as all of our guides.
Yeah. So, I feel better about it. I have not seen, felt, heard nothing from this spirit anymore. I hope he got the message that he wasn't welcome, or she wasn't welcome, or whatever it was. It portrayed itself as a man, but apparently it must have portrayed itself as a woman as well, because that's when my husband had felt it get in the bed, but he thought it was me. So, to me, if it's switching genders and it's getting in your personal space, like your bed, it should not be getting in your bed.
That's a little too close.
Yeah, or if you can touch it and it feels like a human,
feels like a human.
There's something wrong. So, if any of you are, the wind is kicking up here. If any of you have gone through that or going through that, please leave us a comment. Let us know. I'm really interested to hear more about it. So, anyway, I just wanted to set that straight, because I think I kind of came off in the last video that it was, oh, it's so cool, I got this spirit visiting me, but then loved ones saw it, they're like, oh no,
Yeah.
no, this ain't.
Yeah,
this is
that's
not
why I
how this
think
goes.
Renee's going to be really a neat guest as well
Yeah.
for us. And
Yeah.
we don't want to just claim as guests because we would love for you to join us anytime
you
you
can come on
want.
the show anytime you want.
Yeah, we finally just captured
This
you.
terrifies me.
Oh, no,
It
God.
Oh
does.
gosh, you know what? Everybody give her a big
Give her
thumbs
love.
up and tell her she's
Yeah,
doing wonderful.
give her love because
Give
she
her lots of
deserves
love.
it. We love you so much, Jules,
Aw, I
and
love you guys.
we have other people we want to bring on and share our these wonderful experiences because I think it's going to be inspirational for you. It's inspirational for us, and it helps us get through our everyday
It does.
know.
This is almost like our
therapy.
therapy. Like
Oh.
if we can't do bowls, we can taste.
Yeah.
We can at least talk.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of remember before, Nick and your dad and everything, that you were really starting to kind of tap in.
Oh gosh,
You were having
Jules.
some dreams and some visions at bowls, and
The one that I remember that you told me about was when you said, I think I saw my spirit guide.
Yeah.
And that really touched me.
Yeah.
If you'd like to share, would you? If you can remember that far back, it was
was it
little
a
bit.
feeling, or did you actually
I
see
saw
them?
her.
It's a her. Okay.
Yeah, I saw her. And she was a warrior. That's what I remember. Which
That's cool.
it sounds cliche, but I really felt like she was a very powerful person. And it was funny because after I had that vision, I was in Bartonville and I met a woman who I was buying something from on Marketplace. And it was a crystal. And when I was picking it up, she said, "Are you a spiritual person?" And I said, "Yes." And she said, "I am, for lack of a better word, a medium or a psychic." And she's like, "Can I read you?" And I'm like, "Sure." And she said that she saw my spirit guide. She said that she was powerful. And then one thing that she did, which was really interesting, she got down on her knees and she was touching the ground, which is something that I do. And she wouldn't have known that.
Wow.
Oh wow.
Right. So it was kind of interesting, and it kind of put some credit, because I'm always a little skeptic
Yeah, we all are.
of things, but she knew that like I was touching, like I wanted to touch the earth and be
Grounded.
grounded.
Huh.
And she knew that, and she was getting down, and she's like, kind of wondering what that was. And I said, that's what I do. So I don't know.
So she could feel that through you. She could, yeah.
She felt that.
So,
And then
do you know, now that you're talking about that more, and this all happened before Nick passed away and your dad passed away, and as you were going through some things with your mother and cancer and everything, going up to the Mayo Clinic, do you think it was a way for your spirit guide to know that they were there for you? They've been there for you the whole time, guiding you and helping you. Do you think it was like a way that you kind of were, all right, I'm protected, I at least I have a little bit of a help here?
I hadn't thought of it that way. But now that you say that, that makes sense. For her just to say, I'm here.
Yeah.
I've just been really in the trenches, and it's almost like going underwater and just trying to catch your next breath before you go under again, and I haven't really thought about all of the connections. Like, they come to me, but like you
Kinda
speaking,
makes
yeah.
Kind of makes sense.
Does that make sense?
Absolutely, absolutely. Because I think spirit knows when you need them, and even if it's a little sign, like the circle with the crystal in your car, even if it's small like that, that's just them saying it's okay. It's all going to be okay. And now your dad is in the spirit world as well, so he's keeping his eyes on you, because Julia was his only child, and I know that he's probably up there going, yeah,
He's fighting with the rest of the warriors.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
We're gonna watch over her.
Yep,
Protect
her and
my
her girls.
granddaughters,
Yep,
You know,
your mom.
and your friend, of course.
Well, you actually had really good news about your mom. When you went, okay, this last time your father passed away, you had gone through all the the funeral, visitation, everything, and then you had to take your mom immediately up to Mayo Clinic.
Yeah. The funeral was on Sunday, and we jumped in the car on Tuesday.
Mm-hmm.
We raced to Mayo Clinic, and they told us that she had graduated. So
Meaning,
we don't have to go back. Yay!
Yay!
So, yeah.
And maybe a little bit about your mom's initial diagnosis. We haven't brought that up. Why were you taking her to Mayo?
So she has something called downward beat nystagma, which basically your brain doesn't talk to your eyes, and it comes from damage in your brain. And so we started our journey here in Peoria with neurology, and they sent us up to Mayo. And in all of the testing and everything that they were doing for this one condition, they actually found a brain tumor. So the brain tumor was sitting on her eye chiasm. So it was kind of a specialty thing. We were in the right place at the right time, and that's how we started our journey with Mayo. So we've been going back and forth, and there's a certain amount of time to see how she's progressing after the tumor was removed, and so she's doing well.
Yeah.
Good news.
Good news. Good news.
Yep.
With
And I think
bad. I think there's always something.
Yeah, something that comes out of it.
Yeah.
Very well.
It is.
Good.
And, speaking of that,
Okay. Oh, she's got something.
Ooh, she
Well,
got something good.
talking about, I'm viewing things in a different way now, and those Mayo trips, it's like 3 hours, and five and a half.
Well,
for me.
for her, it's 5.5. For
and a
my
half.
husband and I,
Yeah.
it's more of a 6 hour because Miss Speedy here.
But that it was kind of a pain at the beginning, but what I realized was the best conversations I've ever had with my mother in my entire life were those 5 hours to and from Mayo for the last 3 years. And those are conversations I probably never would have had it not been for her diagnosis and where we had to go. And so if I think about it that way, it was,
You build your relationship with her.
we built our relationship, and it was a rocky one for a long time, and so it was just really good to get to know her as a person.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
That is amazing. I love that.
I do
I love
too.
that. That's so.
It's too bad that we have to be confined in a car for 5 hours. To
That
have
might
these
be the trick.
conversations. Take a road trip with somebody that you really need to fix a relationship, and I promise by the time you get there, one of you is either going to have been pushed out or you're going to get past it. But no, that is amazing.
That is great.
That is wow.
Yeah,
That's all I can say.
there's been good things that have happened, and I guess getting back to staying in your truth and looking for not just the negative. The negative is always easy in retail. In retail, they always used to say it's easier for somebody to complain about something than to write something good about someone.
Absolutely.
Like in your little comments, and it's kind of the same in life. It's easy to look at the really hard bad stuff, and it's harder to look at the good stuff.
Yes.
And you got to seek it. And so I guess maybe that's my truth, is I'm trying to find some sense in all of this nonsense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You definitely have had lots of challenges, Jules, but you're doing well. You're doing well. As I know that some of us are, you feel like you get a little bit more challenged in life, but I think it opens doors and makes us grow, and you really have to
Find your tribe
find your, yeah.
and slow down and grass.
Yep. Put your feet in the grass.
Yep.
And feel it all the
You guys,
time.
I wish you could be here because is this not the most beautiful?
Beautiful
Yes.
day.
It's a beautiful day.
It's really hard to believe that it's August. I mean, this has been
Like fall.
like a cool summer.
Yeah, it has been incredibly.
Yeah. And you know, I am not complaining because I am a winter girl.
Yeah.
I do. I like my winter
Yeah.
clothes too.
Yeah.
I do too.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah.
With you guys.
yeah,
Throw me a sweater or a hoodie or
absolutely,
life is good. But,
absolutely.
you know, like yesterday I went to a retirement party.
Yeah.
And you know, it was kind of I sometimes see that as like, you know, you're coming to the end of a chapter in your life where, you know, you've worked all your life. Now it's time to just, you know, kind of kick back and do what you want to do again, kind of like being a kid, right? And just, you know, now I don't have to get up and go to work. I don't have to, you know, answer to a boss. I can, you know, do whatever, travel, stay on the couch in your pajamas all day if you feel like it, whatever.
Oh.
But so there was like that side of life, and then there was also, you know, my little favorites, my little Henry and Coraline and Remington were there, and they were having, it was so joyful for them because this was a little farm where they live, that they had cows and peacocks and
Neat.
rabbits, bunnies, and all this stuff, and just the pure joy. They never sat down probably in the 4 hours we were there, just exploring and looking and just not a care in the world, you know. And we've talked about this too, of seeing life through the eyes of a child, and it's like, man, I just wish sometimes that, you know, I would take more time to just see the world through my kid eyes. And it's kind of like the retired gentleman, and there was a few other retirees that were there as well, and just the difference in them and sitting next to the people that still had to get up and go to work one day. Just the joy of the freedom, you know. Think about that. I think it's what we all strive for, is that freedom. And the kids have it. These retirees have it. It's all of us in the middle.
Yeah, that's true.
You know? And
True.
I long for it. I mean, it's not retirement I want, it's the freedom. I want freedom. I want to do what Diane wants to do, you know, and part of that is starting right here with sharing our messages with you. This is the path in my life that I want to go down. That would bring me pure joy and freedom.
If we could do this today happens to be Sunday. If we could do this every Sunday for the rest of our lives and just sit and enjoy and soak in God's, all the glorious things that we have right here, right now. I mean, we look at the trees and we see the different greens and, you know, just the sky and the blue and the clouds over our heads. You know, it's just, you're right, Di. We need to enjoy the now. The absolute now, because now goes quickly.
Oh my
It
goodness.
goes so quick.
Oh my goodness.
I mean, I have a granddaughter, my youngest one, 5 months, and it has gone so quickly.
Yeah, I feel like she was just born yesterday.
Yeah. So, and then I have a new one coming in a few weeks.
I can't
So, I don't want to miss a moment. And I think you're right. I think we need to look in the eyes of a child, look in the eyes of a retired person.
Yeah.
And say, I want that, and I can get that right now.
Yeah,
if we
can
just
all manifest that.
Yeah.
Let's manifest it together. Let's all just manifest freedom. You know, there are so many changes that are coming. The angels are definitely pointing in that direction, that this world in not very long is not going to be the same. And things have to change. I mean, our political systems have to change. People have to find more kindness, more compassion, more love for each other. There's just so many things that have to change. And of course, with that comes some chaos. But that's why we're saying stay grounded, keep your feet in the grass, whatever you have to do to stay grounded, just stay in that happy, loving place, because it's coming. I mean, we just have to give it a little bit of time. I mean, we've come this far, right? I mean, if I've come this far, I can wait a little bit longer. I'm ready. I am ready.
What's the saying? You've made it through 100% of your worst days.
Yes.
You know,
Yep.
you'll make it through.
There you
You
go.
will. You will. Well, we want to thank Julia for being on our show today. And, subscribe.
Like, comment.
These girls
Share it.
are the real deal.
When we say we love hard.
Yeah.
And I haven't known Julia anywhere near as long as Sandy has. But I'll tell you what, I think I love her just as much as Sandy does.
Yeah, she's
It was
not hard to
instant-
love. Let
no,
me tell
It
you.
was an instant connection
Yeah.
with her, and I just, there for a while, I'm like, I'm going to call Julia, and then I'm like, oh, I wonder how Sandy's going to feel about that. And we kind of had that conversation, and Julia or Sandy was like, Diane, I don't care. You can call her anytime.
Oh my gosh, I gotta share this joy. I do. I gotta share both of you, because I just knew you guys would connect, as well as our other really good friend, and she knows who she is.
Coming on this show.
She is coming on the show. We're gonna
with
get
her.
her.
I did it. You have to do it, and you know who you are.
You know who you are. You're coming next.
Her and her husband both, because Jeff is
Yeah.
the one that we he was faithfully coming to bowls as well.
Yes.
And it had some real
He was our animal whisperer.
Yeah, he was our animal whisperer.
Yeah.
So we got to get him on. So yeah, we're excited to get him, others, Renee,
Yes.
and so many other friends. Like Diane said, we're here to love, and we're here to share. We're here to share, just our kindness towards everyone.
Do not think you've seen the last of her, because I have a feeling she's probably going to be addicted.
Now
to
she's
this
going to be
now.
hooked. Yep.
And she's going to be like, when are we taping again?
Exactly.
This is terrifying.
Oh,
Wait
God.
till you see it on YouTube. It's so cool. You go,
It
oh
is.
my gosh, I really had something good to say.
Yeah. Yes.
I sounded like I should start a news.
Like I know what's going on.
Absolutely.
Because in my brain it's like this.
No. Great.
Yeah. But anyway, we hope you all have a great week, and go out and make you some moon water, because it's a super moon, so
Oh,
you might as well make some super water, right?
Wow.
Take advantage of it. Go deep within yourselves and try to figure this out as best that you can. Come back and watch this video if you need to get a little bit of laughter and love and kindness, because we've got it to give. So anyway, until next time, we're signing out, right?
Yep. We're signing out. Peace, love, like,
Love ya.
subscribe.